behalf of ITP Media India, I welcome you all to Architects and Interiors India's Design Debate Show. I am Shiraz Khan and I will be your host for the evening. I'd like to thank each one of you for joining us today in a gathering meant to acknowledge the architecture and design industry, where the experts will share their unique perspective on the theme of the year and this season, sustainability versus profitability, finding the balance. Architects and Interiors India's flagship property design debate offers a platform for knowledge sharing where design and architecture experts share their views via panel discussions, and one of the renowned brands of the design industry gets an opportunity to present its collection and numerous offerings. It's a multi-city event where every month we head to a new city, and we are proud to have conducted over 42 editions so far. And it gives me immense pleasure to host our 43rd edition in the first planned city of India and the capital of Punjab post-independence, and the city of beauty, Chandigarh. We are really glad to come back here again since we did our first edition of Chandigarh last year in the year 2024. We are looking forward to an exciting panel discussion as the fourth season of Design Debate seeks to dissect this duality that architects and designers grapple with, balancing sustainable practices with cost effectiveness and profitability. So we are delighted and grateful to bring together the masters of the architecture and design industry of the Tri-City of Chandigarh, Panchkula and Mohali. So welcome to this evening, replete with knowledge sharing, and let us have a huge round of applause for Architects and Interiors India presents Design Debate, the Chandigarh Edition. To begin with, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Indrajit Saoji, Group Publishing Director from ITP Media India, the person who has ideated this platform to kindly deliver the opening address. Please join me in welcoming him on stage with a huge round of applause.
It feels absolutely amazing to be back in this lovely, vibrant, design-loving city for the third time in a row. And today, it's not just any debate. It's our 43rd Design Debate Edition. Yes, 43 deep dives into India's most vibrant, innovative designers, architects, and mind those are into sustainability, people who think about sustainability and innovate at the same time. And what better place to be other than Chandigarh as a city? A city that quite literally is a blueprint of vision of urban design. Before we go any further, let's give yourself a huge round of applause. You are here on a working day, ready to engage, discuss, and challenge the status quo. This alone tells that you are not only designers, but you are game changers. A round of applause for all of you, please. Now let's talk about Chandigarh for a second. A city doesn't just look but think smart. It's a city of Corbusier, clean roads, roundabouts, and underlying love for symmetry. But beyond the architecture and planning, there is something about the people here. A deep pride of heritage, a passion for modernity, and a fearless drive to innovate. And that's all make it a perfect backdrop for today's discussion, which is the biggest question: sustainability versus profitability, finding the right balance. Let's face it, many people say, why sustainability? It's one of the most costliest things you can think of. But can you afford not to be sustainable? One planet, one home, that's all we have got. And it's not just about avoiding harm, it's about building better. for the next generation, for our cities, for our future. Think of this, once upon a time, plastic was thought to be a miracle material, but it's a global villain today. Similarly, when businesses think only about profitability, the long-term cost, environmentally and socially, is enormous. So the topic for today, after much brainstorming, coffee-fueled debates, we zeroed down on this particular theme for this particular year, profitability versus sustainability, finding a right balance. Isn't the theme good? Dhruv, isn't the theme good? Thank you. We are thrilled to welcome our guest of honor today, a legend in design, education, Sri Rajneesh Vatsaji, former principal, Chandigarh College of Architecture. Sir, your vision has shaped generations, and it's a privilege to have you here. A huge round of applause for Ms. Vatsa. And of course, we have two blockbuster panels lined up. Panel 1, the next gen panel, redefining the rules, breaking the molds. Young architects who are proving that sustainability and business can go hand in hand. Moderated by ever-energetic architect Shivansh Sharma from SD Sharma and Associates. Give it up for him and our trailblazers. For the next gen architects, please. Panel 2, the Doyens panel, the veterans, the pioneers, the masters. They have been there, done that, and they are still shaping the industry. Moderated by ever-graceful architect Renusha Khannaji, a huge round of applause for her and the Doyens panel here. This evening wouldn't be possible without our powerful sponsors, the powerhouse behind this event, Shuko, our associate partner, leading the way in energy-efficient fenestrations when it comes to sustainable windows and facades. They are literally framing the future. Welcome, Shuko, on board. Dormakaba, champions of smart access and security. Their solutions blend form, function, and future readiness like a well-designed building around. Then we have Fundamax. They bring the Austrian precision to the Indian imagination, from rain screen facades to interior claddings. They are all about surfaces that work and are wow. MRF Vapacure paints, the unsung heroes of design and finishes. They are making surfaces sustainable, beautiful and durable, all at once. They have a small booth towards the corner. You can see the finishes, surface finishes, and the possibilities with MRF paints. To all our partners, thank you once again for believing in this platform and in the power of good design to drive the future.
So following the concept of design debate, it takes immense pleasure to offer a platform to the finest vendors in the design and architecture sector to present their product line and offerings. And having said that, I'd like to begin with our first partnering brand that creates window system with their timeless design and intelligent technology. May we please have the AV?
Fog is created by moist and oversaturated air. The largest raindrops ever recorded by humans had a diameter of 9 millimeters. By the time a solar ray reaches Earth, it has traveled a distance of almost 149 million kilometers. Nothing is quite as fascinating as nature, and nothing is more fascinating than breaching the barrier between nature and the indoors, making them one. To make this a reality in a building, we combine our passion for nature with technology.
Thank you, Team Shuko, for that lovely AV. I'd now like to invite on stage Mr. Abhinav Gupta from Shuko to kindly come on stage and present further about their range of efficient door, windows, and facades.
So, good evening, everyone. I am Abhinav Gupta. I am representing Shuko India. Shuko is a world leader in providing solutions for fenestrations and facades. So today we'll be talking about, more about how we have designed and what we have accomplished mostly in the market of India. So not taking much time about who we are, what we do, and what are our proficiencies. As I said, Schuko is a German brand for providing solutions in fenestration and facade. We have been in India for more than 12 years now. We have been a part of 81 plus countries as well, and we are a global company which is present from last 70 plus years. This is a very short introduction of what we do. So basically we design the solutions based on the market needs. We optimize according to the requirement of project and requirement of, let's say, the executing agencies. And then we supply the high quality aluminum plus hardware and accessories and audit that they are executed in the right way. So in our terms, it is fabrication and installation. So if the fabrication and installation have been done in the right way or not. About our proficiencies, we can have facade systems that can take glass panel load of up to 1 ton. This is something which we achieved 2 years ago, and we have already executed this. Sliding systems that can, so these are tested slided systems which can go up to a height of 4.5 meter. And when I say tested, it doesn't, it means third-party testing. And we have sliding systems that can have an interlock of 19 mm face width. So more views, more glass, and less aluminum. And this is the topic which I'm going to take a few minutes. So we have tailor-made options. So what we mean is, we encourage you to design, and we'll execute as and when you require. So the door that you see at the corner is the door which is a product of an architect's intent. So I'll take you through that. So the Zoho journey. So this was the document provided by the architect on the intent of what was to be done. We did this in a drafted form on AutoCAD to understand how we can achieve. Now, a prototype is made on wood. So, before going to aluminum, we started on wood and we did all the carvings so that we can try to achieve the intent. And a mock-up was done at site of the wooden part. Which brings us to the aluminum drawings. Now, aluminum CAD was made. And we did, so it is a door, so it has to open and close. So we did all the engineering on how the joinery is going to be and what will be the open and close position for this. And which was approved by the architect on prototype as drawing. Which brings us to a 3D model of it. So we printed a 3D model, we fabricated it, and then took approval of it, the entire model. Which brings us to the new die development. This is the first extrusion which happened after the die development. And we had a fabricated plant to fabricate it in the right way under the supervision of Shuko. So this is the final product for you. So from design till the execution, we were there with the architect to understand the need and then provide the right solution as desired for the project. There's a small video on its operation. So if you see this door, all the glasses are different glass panels. incorporated in a single door. That was the intent. So therefore, we proudly say, you design, we build, and together, let's work on a single objective of hashtag Desh Banao. So a few more innovation projects which we have done. This is a few of many, but the intent to show here is that every project that you see here was a new design and a new product which has been installed. So references from a journey of creating outstanding buildings. So we have Lali's residence in Chandigarh, Terrace House in Chandigarh, Gilhotra residence. So mostly I'll be showing the references of Tri-City. Avinash Singla's residence in Chandigarh, KP Singh's residence in New Chandigarh, Anil Mehra residence from Mohali, Badwan residence from Mohali, Sushma residence in Chandigarh, the Ribbon House from Mohali, Sanjay Majithia's residence in Chandigarh, Residence 145 in Chandigarh, Sahil Garg residence, Panchkula, Atul Sachdeva's residence, Chandigarh, Carbonado residence, Panipat, Santosh Kutir in Jalandhar. Going out of the region, in Bhopal, we have done a beautiful house called the Mango Tree House. Saurabh Agarwal residence in Ahmedabad, Seoul Villas in Goa, S Villa in Ahmedabad, and not just private homes. We also do facades. So this is an example of a facade project that we have executed. This is the ITPO Pragati Maidan. The entire facade is done by Shuko. And we are present in high-rise residential projects as well, providing both door windows and facade solutions. This brings me to an interesting topic, which for me is very interesting because we have opened our flagship showroom in Noida, which is called the Shuko India Welcome Forum. So this is in Noida, and I'm going to show you a small glimpse of it. I would like to request every one of you present in this room, whenever you get a time, please contact us. You will surely have a lot to take out from this showroom. We can organize maybe an entire day tour, or as per your wish, we are there to support you. So that's me, Abhinav Gupta. I am the RSM sales for Upper North India for Shuko. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
As we further dwell in the evening, we are delighted to introduce to you all our guest of honor for this edition, a former principal of the Chandigarh College of Architecture. He is currently a visiting professor at various institutions, an architectural historian, critic, author, and modern heritage expert. He has researched on cities' architecture, landscape, and design intensively. He has authored a huge compendium of professional writings and published hundreds of essays, travelogues, and features in leading journals and newspapers such as the Tribune, Times of India, Hindustan Times, Indian Express, and The Hindu. He is the co-author of 2 books, Trees of Chandigarh and Sukhna, Sublime Lake of Chandigarh, and co-editor of a seminal book, Le Corbusier Rediscovered, Chandigarh and Beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause in welcoming our guest of honor for this edition, architect Rajneesh Vatas, former principal, Chandigarh College of Architecture. Sir, may we please have you on stage?
First of all, I am deeply honored and gratified by this, privilege to speak to such an illustrious audience of my fellow architects and associated designers. And I'm particularly like to express my gratitude to Mr. Indrajit, ITBB Media Group, and the corporate partners of various presentations that we're going to have today. And I'm very, very happy to be among my own family. So many of my college mates, my CCA mates, and my professional mates. It looks more like a family get-together, and with so many projects shown on the screen by architects done in Chandigarh, you feel very proud of it, and especially having been kind of grandpa of CCA with so many second-generation architects sitting over here, which will be on the panel discussions. Before I go any further, I would say that when I received this invitation, initial reaction was, oh, another one on sustainability, because these days it's raining sustainability. Every third discussion, every third seminar you have is on sustainability. But when I read a little further, I must say I was very impressed, and I convey my deep appreciation of the elaboration that had been done of the topic. Because it was not just, a headline debate, design debate. It went into various facets on which the issues were to be framed. And that made me very interested, and I thought that here is serious business. And also very smartly, they had two sets of panels, the doyens and the generation next. And of course, they are the people who are in the front lines of the profession. They are practicing architects. So I expect that the deep diving and, they are much more in touch with the ground situation, and I am more of a academic and you can say an observer of things, and I may be able to articulate some thoughts. So I thought that it will be best that in my opening remarks, I step back and try to make sense of the topic, that is sustainability versus profitability, finding the balance. With due respects to Indrajit or the people who have structured the topic, I would have been a little more happy or at ease without the word versus, because this binary of this or that, it puts you into an eyeball-to-eyeball confrontation. And let's not get into eyeball-to-eyeball confrontation, because at this point of time, I don't know what's going on at the border. So let's not get into a binary. I think in fact, Indrajit in his opening comments very rightly said that there are no options. There is only sustainability is the only option. With the climate extremes, climate crisis happening, and bizarre weather phenomena occurring, we have only one option, that is sustainability. So the topic, don't take it seriously. I would say it has to be reframed for this evening. Sustainability without tears, streamlining sustainability, ease of sustainability. We have to tighten our belts, gird up our, and we have to be, there is no other option. So that's point number one. The second thing is that, when it comes to an individual building or an ensemble of buildings, you can probably have some room for innovation and building in sustainable practices, innovations. And, the topic of the debate at the micro level does go to the individual building or a set of buildings or an ensemble. If you really want to make a major difference, and that is what the world needs, then we have to look at the whole thing from a little macro level, which means that we have to look at the city first, the urban, skyline first, because the individual building or the set of buildings, they constitute only cogs. What is the game changer? What can make this planet a more, sustainable or a more hospitable to the coming generations. We are doing all this, we owe it to the patrimony, to the coming generations. We are only custodians of this earth, this room, for this generation. So for safeguarding all that, what really defines the built environment? What defines the consumption geography? It is basically the cities. And the urbanization of the world is something which is again a rampaging juggernaut. The developing country, India currently, I think is having about 32% people living in the cities. Very soon, it's expected to be 50%. In America, 4/5, 80% of the people live in the cities. In all developed countries, urbanization is very high. And another astounding factoid, if I may share, is that the total population of America, which lives in the cities, only occupies 3% of the land area. So that means cities are very critical to the sustenance, economic sustenance. They are the engines of growth, economic growth. They are the hubs of cultural interactions. They are the hubs of innovations. And buildings where the practicing architect or designer can do his innovation is only one of the cogs, one of the blocks which fits into the total, urban form. And I mean, just to give you a few examples, few contrasts. I would say New York is one example. Chandigarh is the other extreme. One denotes, you can say, greed. It denotes economic might. It denotes structural engineering might. It denotes architectural flights of fancies. It's something which is totally exuberance. It speaks of the power of humankind in building as high as it can. On the other hand, Chandigarh is something which gives you another story, that as human beings, our sustenance lies in being in communion with nature. We cannot be disconnected from, I would say on the Indian context, Chandigarh and Gurgaon. Gurgaon is tomorrow's Chicago or whatever, I hope, I don't know. So with these contrasts, that is where India has to find its balance. That is where the individual building or the individual set of buildings, they have to find the sustainable route. And let me tell you, this sustainability concern or fear is not something which has just happened today. It has been always there. The history of urbanization will tell you that as early as 19th century or early 20th century at least, there was a man called Ebenezer Howard who wrote this book on garden cities. And what were the garden cities? It was simply a reaction to the machine age urbanization. Cities with industrial towns became hellholes of smog, and, absolutely dehumanizing living conditions. So the way out was to create garden cities. Chandigarh is actually a version of a garden city. And we don't have time for all that. Similarly, many other innovations in urban planning were born out of this concern of sustainability. When London was rebuilt after the London fire, Chicago, there were all concerns, even COVID. It got all the architects and urban planners and city mayors to come together in a kind of meeting of minds and say that we need to have now a resilient city. Resilient city means a city which can even sustain in a pandemic. So all these things are it's not something which is just, but what has happened, that the climate crisis has precipitated or sharpened the bite. And now we realize, as Indrajit had said, that we can't wait till tomorrow. It should have happened yesterday, the sustainable city. And I'll just quickly run through some more thoughts because time is, Shiraz, I hope you're keeping your eye on the watch. And if the moment I cross 9 minutes, you can raise a hand. And a professor and a mic is a dangerous, liaison. So you have to switch off the mics before they get off the podium. I will not take it ill at all if you switch off the mic but I would like to share some more thoughts. See, when India got independence, how did the architecture and the city skylines, metaphors, how did they get reinvented? And I'm specially addressing myself to the younger generation. They may or may not be aware unless they're taught at the schools. Even before independence, even before the advent of Corbusier and Louis Kahn and Doshis and Koreas, to whom I have been a witness, there were already European architects in India. Especially one name is very important, Patrick Geertz. He was the first environmentalist who got very concerned about the state of urbanization in India. A Scottish biologist come urban planner, he was invited by the governor of Madras Presidency in 1920s, 15, and later on many princely states, they also commissioned him. And he made, can you believe, as many as 50 reports on Indian cities, the state of the Indian cities. And what was the thrust? To make them more hygienic, more civic, more connected to the heritage, and in other words, more sustainable. So it's not that we have got, a brainwave and something it has been there. And then with the advent of independence, you had the Corbusier and Kahn. And, on another date, another time, I would like to, expand a little more. Corbusier is seen as more of an architect of brutalism or modernism or whatever you want to labelize him. But actually, he was also trying to deal with the elements of nature. He was very concerned about the state of the city, and he was an urbanist by thought and by training. And his famous project of the vertical garden city, if you never got built, but what is Gurgaon, what is Noida? They're all feeble, meek attempts at some kind of mid-rise or a vertical city. So there are many issues, and later on, people like Albert Meyer, who innovated Garden City, and Chandigarh is a product of that. I would like to especially appeal to the younger generation that in many of the, we are getting too excited with the new products, new range of products, new innovations. But we are forgetting the good old peepal tree or the jamun tree, which would do much more to ameliorate the harmful effects of extreme climates than any other mechanical or device can do. On an average, one medium-sized trees, does the work of 5-room air conditioners working for 20 hours. And an air conditioner only transfers heat from, inside and throws it into the outdoor environment. It is only a tree which consumes heat energy, and everyone knows it's botany. So I would, towards my closing, this I haven't, shared with you, taken the, indulged myself in sharing some of the thoughts which I have felt that they need to be, set the tone for the discussions. And the hard work will, of course, be done by the panels. So really, we have to understand that sustainability is not only going to be achieved by architects and designers, but it is a set of forces, a set of geographies which can make truly a substantial difference. You have to be an influencer. What is when, the electric vehicles came, Tesla, or whatever, initially it was felt that, it's useless, plastic. But when something gets associated, endorsed by celebrities, when it becomes trending, it gets acceptability, and then you suddenly realize that if you are seen to be drinking from a plastic bottle of water and using a diesel or petrol guzzler, you're a stupid chap. Then you are considered not a cool person. Your children will say, don't talk to us. So that is how public figures, influencers, and innovators, they also have to play a sociological role. So with these few thoughts, I thank you everyone in the audience and the organizers for indulging me, for giving me this great honor, and I wish the panel, I'll be sitting there enjoying my coffee and keenly listening to the panels, the doyens and the generation next, to brainstorm and go deep diving. So with this little philosophical reverie of an old man, I thank you once again.
I now request Mr. Abhinav Gupta from Shuko and along with him Mr. Indrajit Sauji, Group Publishing Director from ITP Media India, to kindly come on stage and felicitate our legendary guest of honor. Can we have a huge round of applause for him, please? With our next segment, Architects and Interiors India's Design Debate aims at presenting the most trusted and renowned brands in the field of architecture and design. And we are delighted to partner with one of the global leaders in designing and engineering innovative access solutions. And to present the same, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Hanish Arora, Manager Architectural Specifications from Dorma Kaaba, to kindly come and share further about their highly efficient access systems.
I'm representing Dorma Kaaba. So along with me, my entire team is here, representing my sales colleagues, represented by Suresh Bhatti and Mr. Rajiv. They are looking after the sales operations. And along with them, my colleague, Mr. Raja Morgan, he has traveled from Chennai. So he is also a product marketing manager for movable walls. So a very warm welcome to all of you. So I'll be sharing a brief presentation around 10-15 minutes. I'll be showcasing what Dorma Kaaba is all about and what we do and what we deliver. So starting with the purpose, so Dorma Kaaba is a purpose-driven brand basically, and our brand purpose is basically for every place that matters. So every place that is relevant to the society. So be it hospitality, be it healthcare, or in transportation, whether it is a railway station or education. So we have expertise in all of these segments. We want to be present in all these segments. So that is how we add value to these segments. So starting with a small video is here. I like to share this video. It will showcase what the brand strategy is all about and what is the history of Dorma Kaaba.
Humans are social beings. We create buildings and cities, places where individuals come together and build communities. These are places to connect. For every place that matters.
So Dorma Kaaba has a legacy of more than 100 years. The Dorma Kaaba brand emerged from the merger of two brands, that is Dorma and Kaaba. So basically, Kaaba is is right now the Swiss brand, and Dorma was the German organization. Both the companies has a legacy of more than 100 years. And in 2015, both the brands got merged, and a common brand evolved out of it. That was Dorma Kaba. So, as rightly said, like we have a legacy of more than 160 years. We are present in more than 130 countries across the globe, and having a workforce of more than 16,000 employees around the world. We are, a lot of products, we have a first mover advantage in the market, especially in access control and e-boarding gates. So we have more than 1,800 patents in our name, and with the net sales revenue of more than 2.8 billion Swiss francs. So Dorma Kaba has zonal offices established across the India. We have zonal offices, 4 zonal offices. We have 7 local offices and more than 350 employees in India. So we are proud to share our accreditations. We are very well approved with the ISO 9001, ISO 14001, that is the environmental management systems, then occupational health and safety and other accreditations. We are also green building certified, and our products adds to the LEED certification points for the green buildings. Then the other aspect of Dorma Kaba is we have our own first hardware testing lab in our own premises, that is in Chennai. And this is where we test our products, especially in door hardware, which is our products are all tested as per international norms. So mainly we are into hinges, that is flush hinges, also concealed hinges for aesthetically pleasing, appealing doors, concealed door closers, surface mounted door closers, pull handles, digital door locks, electromagnetic locks and electronic locks. So these are some of our products. All our products are tested as per national and international standards. So be it BIS certification, that is Bureau of Indian Standards, or whether it is EN standards or NC standards, that is American standards. So our products are all tested as per the international norms and very highly durable. So we continuously evolve our products basically, and as an innovation leader, we are constantly evolving into the market, and since construction industry is an industry where continuous upgradation and transformation is happening across the globe. So we are also front runner in this transformation. So for example, we have launched EntryWorks Planner software, which is intelligent platform software for the architects to manage the door list. So that is basically to manage a complete ecosystem, that is for the project ecosystem from planning stage to execution stage. It is a software where architects can manage their door list, and also they get access to Dorma Kaba products and services. Then Argus Air, that is the sensor barriers, which is a touchless passage and secure entrance. We are very well approved in all the major airports across the globe. Then we have thermally separated profile systems, which basically ensure optimum use of HVAC resources. So building with a conscience, we contribute to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and the 9 SDGs which are most aligned to sustainable strategy are good health, quality education, gender equality, and then industry and infrastructure, climate action. These are some of the sustainable development goals where we contribute, and this is how Dorma Kaba gives back our responsibility to the society. So people put their trust on us. We have a lot of references, especially in India. We have a lot of products which have been installed in major multinational organizations also, like Amazon Development Center, Tata Consultancy Services, where we have used our automatic sliding doors, our door closers, our revolving doors. So in fact, the revolving door is also used in this particular hotel. If you have come across from the entrance, our revolving door has been installed in this hotel as well. Then Google India. Then this is a KLN Healthcare, which have been where we have used our automatic sliding doors, door hardwares, and lodging systems. Then iconic projects which are built across the globe, like World Trade Centers, Galaxy Soho, Marina Bay, Hotel Singapore. These are some of the iconic projects in which Dorma Kaaba has been given opportunity to use their products. This highlights the quality and the flexibility aspect. So I have to be a little fast since I've been told that I have 2 minutes left. These are some of the international airports in India itself where we have used our e-boarding gates. So e-boarding gates is something which has been promoted by Government of India across the airports. And our solutions enable seamless and automated passage flow from departure to arrival. So these are some of the other airports where our e-boarding gates have been used. And Dorma Kaaba is, as a brand, is well established and approved in all the hospitality chains. So be it Marriott, Hilton, Novotel, or Crown Plaza, Holiday Inn. These are some of the brands where these renowned brands use Dorma Kaaba products. So then I'll come back to the Dorma demountable glass partition. This is a glass partition solution which is very much accepted across the Indian market. It is completely customizable solution with the concealed seals and door hardware. We have a sleek profiles, that is 27, 50 mm and 100 mm profile solutions which can adapt to the architectural design requirements. So it is a customizable solution. Then this system can also, it is an acoustical solution. So we have single glass as well as double glass unit as well. So curvilinear and fluid designs are also possible in these systems. So as per design intent of the architect, curved partitions can also be created. So last but not the least, my time's up. Our time is up. But this is a very interesting product, which is in the name of Skyfold. This is an intelligent room dividing system, which is also an acoustical panel. And this is a vertical retractable wall, basically totally customizable, which can go up to 11 meters and have a STC of 60. It is STC of 60, and it comes in 2 variants, basically solid and in glass. So I'll showcase a video in this. It will highlight how this partition goes and how it works. Thank you so much. You can also follow us on social media platforms also. Thank you so much.
And as we continue to introduce our esteemed partners for this edition, I'd like to shed light on a trailblazer in the coatings industry. I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Pankaj Sharma, MRF Corp Limited, to kindly come on stage and present about their wide range of multi-purpose coatings.
नमस्कार, मैं पंकज शर्मा एमआरएफ पेंट्स की तरफ से आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं और बहुत शुक्रिया करता हूं हमें ये मौका देने के लिए that we can present our products or we can tell something about our company and the product. So we start. We are from MRF Paints. MRF Paints भी आता है क्या इनका? Yes, MRF आता है. And this same company tires. So MRF tires, small introduction है. We are more than 3 decades. We are there in paints. Earlier we were manufacturing the industrial and the OEM paints, but now from last 4 years we are available in entire range of the home beauty. So you can call us for. Hello. Yeah. You can remember or you can call us for any solution for any paint solution for your beautiful homes. Just a minute. So we are enlightened to tell you about the paints we are manufacturing. This is paint that good life. Yes, our motto is to paint that good life for all the community. We are the most trusted brand in tires. We have the MRF retrade business also. MRF Pace Academy, which is a in cricket coaching academy, and we have lots of the players, great players has been trained there. आपने MRF का बल्ला देखा होगा विराट कोहली के हाथ में. That's a branding also, and that the bat belongs to MRF. And we have the sports good division and fun schools toys आपने सुना होगा. That is also MRF and MRF Webber paints. So we have the complete range of decorative paints. We are there in business for adding aesthetics and harmony homes for over 3 decades. We are ISO 9001 company, 2015 certified. Green Post certification for most of the products. There are 3 fully equipped manufacturing facilities in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. We are fully flagged R&D center, innovations and continuation products and developments. Pan-India strong distribution network. We are serving with more than 40 sales offices in India. We have more than 5 training centers where we trained our contractors to use our paint products very well and good manner. Good living start with the good looking spaces. That is our idea behind this. And in MRF, we have wall finishes, wood finishes, metal finishes, and the performance products. Wall finishes, this is the premium brand which comes Ruka, and this is a very smooth and satin emulsion, antibacterial, silver ion technology, and it's an interior emulsion. We have some more 151 exclusive shades in this product, and a Nebula fan deck, which have approximately 1100 shades covering for this product. This is also the exterior paints, which is MRF Aquafresh Exterior. MRF was the first company who introduced PU dispersion technology in wall paints. So it's a PUD paints which has PU dispersion in the product. This is the exterior product with 1014 exclusive shades and available all their other competition shades also. We have our all tinting systems, water-based tinting system as well as solvent-based tinting system also. Solvent-based बोलूँ तो जो भी आप metal से related product लगाते हैं, जो भी आप wood से related product लगाते हैं, उसमें अपने पास 2 तरह की मशीनें होती हैं which are available in entire networks. So all the shades we make, but as well as in the solvent-based products, which are 2-pack products, we make all the shades. This is the Aquafresh interior product, same PUD product, which have warranty of 8 years. Same Ruka interior, Ruka Aquafresh interior and exterior, all come with the 8 years warranty. It has 1100 exclusive shades and available all the competition shades in our machines. So you can get it tinted for any shade, Mera wala pink, Bhaiya wala green, anything can be made in MRF machines also. This product is Altura. It is the single product for interior and exterior. This product comes with 5 years life, and this comes in Altura Matte and Altura Shine. And the product is like, कि यदि आपने बाहर कहीं wall पे किया है, you will like it as a wallpaper. So beautiful product. And coverage, it has the initiative of extra coverage. So extra coverage means बोलूँ तो कहीं पे यदि competition का 5 बाल्टी लगने वाला है, तो अपना 4 बाल्टी लगने वाला है. That is very, very clear. In MRF products, every product, I can name every product, is 15 to 20% more coverage, more life to the product. So apply and supply के लिए is always good. So this also have 1110 exclusive shades available in matte and sheen finishes, and competition के सारे shade बनते हैं. This is Visa. Visa is an interior product, and Campus is an exterior product. Slightly cheaper paint we want for walls, that is Visa and Campus. So we are in premium, super premium, luxury, economy. Every segment we have a paint for wall. Visa, interior, and Campus for exterior. Campus comes in 2 finishes, one is a matte and one is a shine. And Visa also come in 2 finishes, one is a matte and one is a shine. Coverage कहने की जरूरत नहीं है, every product has 20%, 15% more coverage than any product available in the market. That's for sure. Scratch resistability, washability, superior finish, everything is there. Like you want the product in the market, everything is there. Visa or campus maybe we have 937 shades exclusivity, matte sheen finishes are available, and competition के सारे shade हमारी machine में भी shade cards में choose करके आप बनवा सकते हैं. This is a damp guard. आज की तारीख में कहीं भी हम जाते हैं, first priority comes dampness है, शोरा है, wall खराब हो गई है, wallpaper उतर गया है, मैं क्या करूँ, मुझे कैसे paint करना है? This is a solution. Damp guard. This has a coverage of 10 years warranty, perfect product performance. All the products come with the Green Pro certificates. These all wall products whatsoever I have told are come with Green Pro certification. So this dam guard is available in white, terracotta and gray shades also. ये seepage को भी रोकेगा and it's a good primer also. So you can do any finishes after this dam guard. No seepage, no dampness, and the best is, what is the best? Best is it reduces 10 degrees centigrade temperature under the roof. आप इसको top wall पे करेंगे तो it will reduce 10 degrees temperatures, and it is for sure that it reduces. These are the wall primers. We have all primers with us. Cheaper one, the cello primer, wall primer. The premium primer is Altura primer and Aquafresh primer. This Aquafresh primer is also a PUD primer, means PU dispersion technology. और एक बात मैं अपने प्राइमर्स के बारे में बता दूं, आप एक्वाफ्रेश जैसे प्राइमर को दीवार पे कर दीजिए, कंपटीशन का कोई प्राइमर कर दीजिए, 2 साल छोड़ दीजिए, हम देखेंगे हमारे प्राइमर्स एज इट इज़ वाइट रहेंगे, सेम फिनिश रहेगी. कंपटीशन प्राइमर्स कैन lose their glow, lose their whiteness, they can be yellow in 6 months, 8 months, 10 months time. But these primers will be same as it is. Sometime we felt that लोगों ने कहा सर Aquafresh primer लगा लिया, मुझे लगता नहीं है मुझे top coat लगाना है. That kind of primer we have. So we live with our quality, that's it. So Aquafresh PU wall primer, crack bridging property with 0.2 mm, Altura 2-in-1 primer, acrylic wall, interior exterior. Then cello primer comes with the acrylic wall primer and the solvent thinnable primer. And in primers mein, we recommend the water of 60 to 70% water. There is a sticker lying there. But yes, sometimes people are mixing more water also, 10-15%. They are useful and they don't give any complaint. Then wood finishes. This is Aquacoat PU 1K wood finishes. This is a single pack, which is a low VOC, DIY, environment friendly, moisture resistance, and low in order. So this is a 1K product, water based, wood finishes for interiors. Next come Aquacoat 2K PU. It's a 2K product, water based PU, and wood finishes for exteriors. Interior, exterior, both we have, and it's also a Green Pro product. It is available in glossy, matte, floor coat, and anti-skid also. This is the wood coat. This is a super premium brand, where we can say this product lasts like this, that you will think, yeah, now अब मेरे को change कराना है, that's it. Product नहीं ऐसा बोलेगा कि अब मुझे change हो जाना चाहिए. कोई scratches, कोई yellowness, कोई पपड़ी, कुछ nothing. This is a product which can last to 7, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years also. By myself, I have seen 25 years old uses of this product. So this is a brand. This is a super excellent aliphatic PU. बाहर की दीवारों के लिए UV resistant, weather resistant PU. गर्म पानी, खौलता पानी, कुछ भी. So next is a wood coat Italia. आजकल ज़माना है 2:1 product का, Italian finish का. So we have a wood coat Italia, and this is the best in class product. It is available in high gloss, matte, clear, white, and white matte. These are the economic wood finishes. We have melamine for interiors, easy wood, जिसको interior exterior अपना दोनों आता है 2-in-1. Treat wood, one more wood finishes, and a fresh wood, one more wood finish. So we have a big range of wood finishes. Metal finishes, this is the excellent brand which is called Metal Coat, premium 2K PU brand, pigmented and top coats. Clean, clear and pigmented also. Multi-purpose, 54 exclusive metallic shades जो बने बनाए आते हैं factory made, and available in high gloss, high clear and matte also. अब metal coat में 54 shade के बाद क्या? 54 शेड के बाद we have metal coat plus bases. In this bases, 2,900 and more sheets can be tinted with our solvent-based machine, which is available at dealers. And it is the high gloss clear matte paint. And metal coat के बारे में एक बार बता दूं, एक बार metal coat लगाने के बाद शायद किसी को कोई प्रोडक्ट पसंद नहीं आएगा. This is Durathin. This is the only PU, aliphatic PU for wood and metal, which can be used by brush, which can be used by spray, which can be used by गद्दी. अब मेरे घर में किसी के घर में एक डोर है जिसमें सिर्फ 3 लीटर पेंट लगना है, तो मुझे शायद स्प्रेयर वाले बुलाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. या मेरे घर में बुजुर्ग हैं या बच्चे हैं जो कि स्प्रे से उनको तकलीफ होती है, तो दिस इज़ द सॉल्यूशन. एंड दिस सॉल्यूशन इज़ लाइक with 29 exclusive sheet बने बनाए आते हैं, and it is available in glossy, matte, clear and satin finishes. So this is Durathin. We have Spectra PU enamel. PU enamel means the quality is like this, कि सभी PU enamels में जहाँ 1% PU आता है, beat any name of the companies, we have 10 to 12% PU in it. So what is the benefit of it? कि 3 साल बाद भी प्रोडक्ट के जैसा लगेगा, प्रोडक्ट के जैसा लगेगा और you will get the right finish. Epitaxic जो कि food grade है, acrylic superfine, those are. And some of the more preferred products, Jameen 2K PU, glass के लिए हमारे पास product है which can give you the shades in glass. Aquafresh Cool जो 10 से 12 डिग्री तक top floor पे coolness देता है, Altura Metallic, everything. Recent कुछ projects हैं जो अमा Memorial, मक्काज Knowledge City, प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज अहमदाबाद, सस्पेंशन ब्रिज पुनालूर, ताजमहल पैलेस मुंबई, ताज एक्सेसरिया रिजॉर्ट गोवा, हिल्टन रिजॉर्ट, ब्लूम होटल्स in all metros. So all has been painted. Venkatadri Heights, Vijayawada and apartments interiors. Lots of the things are there. How we support we have a team of BDs, RDCs, technical guidance, site supervisions, and we offer the free sampling. Any of the customer calls us on this number, we give a free sampling also. Yeah, this is all from MRF Paints. We request you to give us the chance to prove that we have the best product in the country. And it is all in our in-house manufacturing. We don't make anywhere outside. Thank you very much. Thanks for calling us. Wish you all the best for a successful next year. Thank you.
Hi guys, good evening. I hope you all are having a good time. We promise we will not take too much time, guys. Yes? Yeah. Always, always. Like, look at me, I don't wear a shirt. Well, to be fair, nobody over here is wearing formal clothes. Next generation for the win. So, architecture is very interesting. Architecture thrives in extremities. In extreme prosperity and crisis, we build for happiness and to rebuild everything. Modernism, postmodernism, everything have been great examples of that. We create spaces for culture, we create spaces for healthcare, we create spaces for justice. We create spaces, which is it's an extremely daunting task. By the same time, relevance of architecture is under question. The Supreme Court doesn't value our signatures for passing off the drawings. The architecture as a profession is under extreme scrutiny. Building a building is a traumatic experience. We need to understand, we need to build extreme architecture when we have to invest into softwares, we have to invest into people, we have to invest into infrastructure to make sure that we build great buildings. We have to coordinate with the contractors, and when everything goes wrong or anything goes wrong, it is the architect to be blamed, or when everything goes right, God bless Pinterest. We were given the beautiful mood boards that we just had to follow. Architecture is great. At the same time, today's topic for me is a conflict. Today's topic for me is a situation where I feel architecture as a profession is at its worst, where we have to choose between sustainability versus profitability. Why can't we build sustainable profitably? And that is, as a next generation of architects, as this extremely important task has been given to us. My panel here is to explore collaborations between the next generation of architecture to bring the good and great practices of architecture back to its former glory, where we do not have to make this choice. This choice to build either sustainably or to even go through the process of educating our clients before we can even tell them, okay, this is the sustainable way to move forward. Like that option, that choice is something that we should not be having. So my first question to the open panel over here is that how do you at your firms derive that separation of what is sustainable and what is profitable? Say, Mohita, let's start with you. So Mohita, let's start with you. How would you at your firm define that separation? Okay, this is at our firm, this is sustainable and profitable for the firm. I don't want to go down the building route. Like we don't want to go down the route of this building is profitable for the client. Right now, this topic is personal to us as the next generation architects, where we need to build sustainable livelihoods for us, our teams, and invest into good sustainable practices. So,
thank you, Shivant, and good evening, everyone. I think, yes, we have to start with this very critical understanding of what sustainability is. And in our firm, what we believe sustainable design is something which is long-term well-being, also something which is ecologically integrity is maintained. We are also looking at the entire ecological system, somewhere where social equity is also defined, and most importantly, the economic viability of that design also works out. So this interwoven result of all these segments together is what is sustainable. So we can't have something which only works on one parameter. If it is something which is only working on the economic parameter, then we are going to lose the most crucial parameter, which is that the built environment is built for the inhabitants. So we need to look at their well-being, not only in the terms of meeting the present needs, but also in terms of being able to provide for the future needs as well. So I think there is, we can't really segregate sustainability and the profitability. They work hand in hand. I think I started my journey in the year 2002 in the field of architecture when I joined Chandigarh College of Architecture. And at that time, this concept of sustainable design was picking up. So, and I still remember doing my thesis, which was a sustainable IT building, where at that time we were marketing use of LED lights. So we were saying we have to use LED lights. So now, 2 decades down the line, it has become a norm. Nobody is now kind of educating the clients towards using LED lights or something. So I think there is a significant development in the field of architecture design, where sustainability is not no more a desirable add-on feature. It is something which is an integral part of the design. And it has to work on multiple fronts, not only on the energy front.
Got it. How about you, Varun? You build, like you play a very important role of heritage in terms of sustainability, and we were having a conversation about that. Would you like to expand on your take on this?
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. So in our office, what we do is, sustainability is basically something which sustains. So now, what we do and tell our clients is, sustainable is not basically something which is expensive, and sustainability is just go back and look into your heritage, basically the history. If you go back to the 18th century or before that, before the evolution and before the electricity coming in or proper sewer lines or plumbing fixtures coming in, if you go back to that era, you see those people living happily. What if there is no electricity today? And today, if you want to make something, which today, if these things are not provided, and yet, the building can sustain. So this is what we've been practicing, and we've been locating ourselves as if finding ourselves, getting back to the history, and looking for answers of sustainability from there, because that has been lasting, ages basically. So the modern structure lasts only decades, but the heritage structures have been lasting since centuries. So the answer is in our history, is in our history, or I would say heritage. So this is how we've been telling our clients to just have to go for the vernacular materials or the locally available things, or just wherever you're building right now, you have to see the locally available things and the practices which have been lasting and the people have been working with. So this is how we've been practicing. And that becomes affordable, and that becomes profitable as well, because again, it's going to last for centuries.
Fantastic. So you take longevity as an important factor in terms of calculating profitability. Dhruv, again, first of all, how about you for the same question? Like, how do you define sustainability and profitability together at your firm?
I think defining sustainability is like, it's too much of a definition to go into, right? Everything that comes out these days is sustainable. So we don't do sustainable architecture, hands down. We do logical architecture, right? So in today's time and age, I feel architecture is layering completely, whether you're doing a building or you're doing any sort of interiors. So it's just a decision-making process when you make the most logical choice at the least amount of carbon footprint when you are constructing, and the most, I would say, least amount of carbon footprint when you are maintaining a building. It's not just constructing it, but it is also maintaining and running of a building that matters. So that is what we do. We try and assess, analyze. Most of our work is context-based work. We are into a build-to-suit environment. And I feel as architects, we adorn this role where we are doing build-to-suit structures 90% of the times, right? So you are meant to, I think, assess, analyze, and then apply whatever you are learning. You don't have to go by the companies. I was having a discussion with Varun when we were standing. So we just came onto advertisement. So from the time you wake up to the time you go off to sleep, everything is advertisement. Everything is branded as a sustainable material, right? I would not name companies, but anything that you see is like sustainable. So like I said, we don't do sustainable mimicry at all.
Awesome, perfect. So you put a lot of effort on analysis and then deeper calculations to understand if a thing is working, if a process is working.
I think you have to give it time. Architecture is probably all about patience and time.
Awesome.
And you have to see how something reacts or acts.
Yeah.
And with your own experience, built on your own understanding. And there was a very nice word when your introduction came in. That was intelligence.
Yes.
So built on your own intelligence, you have to see whether
Absolutely.
you would like to go forward with something or not.
Absolutely. Tarun, how about you? Again, at your firm, if you had to go back and define sustainability and profitability, and how do you kind of bring those two together?
So, first of all, thanks a lot for having me on the panel. When you talk of sustainability, and I personally have a very strong belief, it's ideological. It's very, it's your approach, and it cannot be enforced on somebody. I feel sustainability is a state of mind wherein you have to believe in what you're preaching. You cannot just ask some body to come in, rate your building and say, we've become a sustainable building. You have to actually believe in the practicality of it. So when I started off with this ideology, or maybe started understanding, and I personally thought sustainability would be, it would be basically use vernacular materials, use local materials, don't use cement, use lime plaster and all these things, and that's what sustainability is about. But you're also mentioning about profitability, and not going down that profitability road right away, but what I'm trying to understand with time and with experience is that you cannot be so rigid about sustainability being only this kind of sustainability. Sustainability, what it implies to me, is that you have to be sensible, logical about your needs. and you have a need for something, fine, but you have to also understand that so we do residential, and I can take you down that road and give you the context of residential work. If a client comes to us and tells us that we need this as our requirement, and we need this and we need that, what I try to tell them is, you don't have to build everywhere if you have the liberty to do so. Be sustainable in your approach, where build as much as you need and build as much as you can manage. So profitability down the line will imply that you're managing as much as you can probably do. You're just not doing it for somebody else. You have to do it for yourself. So that inner peace, inner comfort is what your approach is. And that's sort of sustainable also. And then there are varying degrees of sustainability. Some people are okay, they want to be very conscious of the sun direction, of the wind direction. Some people don't really give a damn about it, and they want central air conditioning. So, I mean, it's very subjective. You can't enforce yourself upon everyone. I may believe in something, but then it's somebody else's house. I have to respect their decision also. And sustainability has to be a blend, and profitability, I believe, comes automatically. And if I talk of the residential context, people are not looking at a house with a profitability factor in mind. But profitability of your lifestyle is what you should look at. Your lifestyle should be happy
So I want to bring profitability to not at the building level. Again, I understand as architects, we always build profitability as my clients might save some money, my client. I'm talking again at a professional level today for us as architects at our firms. So I want to dial it back. So to pull some inferences out, as architects, I feel our training is to design logically, to understand what the requirement is and do the needful. And understand, I completely agree with you that if we impose a certain kind of sustainability on somebody, that client will just go to the next person. Right, so that is one. I understand that we have to take into account our heritage, our history, and learn and build from that. And when we're building from that, we also build for longevity, and we calculate not for 20 years, maybe 30 years, and suddenly that house becomes a lot more profitable. I also understand that when you're building a multi-story, multifaceted building for multitudes of clients, we have to then standardize requirements, and we have to standardize a lot of materials, functions, and that becomes sustainable. And then again, going down the logic route and making sure that we build to the point where it is all an analytical, where we build, where we invest into analysis to a point where we can then tell objectively to a client, देखो 10 साल में आपने ये पैसे बचाए या आपने ये करा, right?
ये भी कि logical का मतलब है कि you would, if you can source something from the site, you would source it. Now, if you ask me to get a patthar from Kishangarh and call it sustainable, that would not work. So
Exactly. So now I want to take that, and this all involves a lot of investment of knowledge, softwares, people, and sustaining a certain kind of life and lifestyle for your own people as well. And now, as I was saying, how architecture in this current day and age for government projects, for large-scale projects, all through tenders, the whole practice of architecture is, I feel, at an all-time low. Again, please disagree with me and interject whenever you feel necessary. Again, all the asla of anything that goes wrong in the project falls on the architect, but the credit is never really shared. My point over here is that is the profession going, like how do we as the next generation kind of build towards getting it to a better situation as the profession of architecture, where we don't have to make this choice, where the analysis is not an option, it's actually a given, where the education is not, where like the forced sustainability is not really forced, where we have to bring towards, we have to build towards a future where the client comes to us and goes like, yaar, this is my idea of sustainability, what can you add? How can you add to that? So as the next generation, how do we build on that? Like if you take that as a base in a hypothetical scenario. Gaurav, do you have something to add in that?
Yeah. So in this case, what we do is, first of all, not directly tell our clients what sustainability is to show them the value of sustainability indirectly, by doing this, you would be saving this much amount of money. And then you tell them this is a sustainable way as well. Then they are taking it positively. If you directly talk about sustainability towards them, they would be like, how much money are we talking? The money thing comes in the most. Sustainability, if we talk about in buildings, the factor that, hampers it the most is money, the profitability part, right? So when we're educating them, guiding them the process, the benefits of it, the values, the benefits they're going to be getting out of it, then they're very happy to, get that thing incorporated. So majorly it's education, educating them in the right way. That's what I feel.
Basically, how we do is we do a life cycle assessment for the project. So for any green building, it would be having a little upfront costing, high costing in the initial go. So by doing a life cycle assessment for them, what we are able to show them that whatever increased cost is being added, it's actually a very strategic investment that they're doing, which will surely yield them the interest or returns on their investment in these many years. And after these years, that is all profit for them. So if you are reducing your running cost, if you are increasing the opponent's well-being, you are actually contributing a lot more positives by doing that investment. So in the end, it's a win-win situation for the client. And that is how they get convinced about it. And also they increase their market branding and saleability, obviously.
Absolutely. Dhruv, Tarun, do you guys want to add something?
In this case, like as we work with builders, so now in this case, if we start telling them that this product, if we add this, sustainability factor, it's going to have that government compliances and then the benefits of the government, it's going to be a faster seller thing. So that ways their ears raise up and then they're wanting to have all those benefits. When we talk about the benefit, then only they want that thing.
Correct.
If we just talk about sustainability, then why do I need it?
Correct.
I will not talk about the benefit of the people. I want what the benefit, my benefit. His benefit is when it's being sold faster. Correct. At a higher value. Correct. So sustainability helps in doing that as well.
Correct.
So that is when we tell them the buyer will have that, there'll be less of maintenance factor. Sustainability is basically less of maintenance.
Sustainability, that's how we do it.
So basically, Varun has told you that the correct way of making a client aware is leading to sustainability, and Mohit has actually told you how he has to be educated. That's the bottom line. It's monetization at the end of the day. And us as architects, we fail when we get into the creatives and our client is like he's in his own la-la land. And
but what I feel is now the client is also very proactive. They are opting for more passive design features. They're also opting for ancient energy science, which is Vastu. And Vastu is all about energy again. And Vastu and passive designs, they work together if we see. It's all about the natural source of energy, which is the sun, wind, water. So I think the client is also becoming very proactive. Even if it's a residential project, they say, ma'am, we need a house which remains cool during the summer and it's warm during the winter. So I think it's become much more simpler. It was much harder a decade ago or 15 years back, where we were convincing clients this is what sustainable means. But now they are very well aware, they know everything, and we are talking to a very informed person. So I think all these forums, they have made a place of sustainable design, and global warming is already presented itself. So
fantastic. Anything to add, Tarun? Yeah?
A little bit. I mean, like ma'am said, I completely agree. It's both of them actually. What they mentioned is accurate. That they are very well informed, and they'll come to you with a mindset, and they know what they've seen everything on YouTube, everywhere it's available now. And at the end of the day, it is all about costing as well. So you have to find the right balance. And when you ask, how do you take it to the next level, or how you can improve on what they demand? I think as architects, we know how to be logical about their requirements and how to give it a direction and streamline it in the best possible manner. Even if their demands are maybe going out of the way or out of context, just basically try to balance it out. So that's our job. True. I think
Architecture
common
is-
sense and balancing it.
Yeah, architecture is basically a social science. Yeah, the awareness of of the person who approaches you is the pivoting point of every architectural evolution or any sort of architectural movement.
That's very well put.
We are all quite a number of things.
We have to understand the psychology of the client. Absolutely, 100%. यार पहले 5 साल का कोर्स है यार, एक और सब्जेक्ट डाल दोगे 2 साल बढ़ जाएंगे प्लीज. let's not go there. I agree. So I really appreciate you going down the details of the benefit analysis and how you do, but doing those analysis, how does this affect your team at your level? So again, what I mean over here is that, like, I understand when you have to deal with the client and understand the requirement and tell them, okay, ये benefit होएगा आपको, ये benefit होएगा आपको, but उसमें आप लोगों ने बहुत study करी है. And a firm doesn't run on one person. A firm doesn't run on, it runs on multiple scenarios, multiple ways. And that analysis, and how do you take out time from active designing and knowledge sharing to then, setting up building works, drawings, coordinated drawings, building services. Now then the other aspect, the technical aspect of the profession comes into play. Right. Now that balance, again, now as I think Varun put it very well, is that how we kind of, how do we sell that benefit, at the same time how do we try to make sure that the client's requirements are met, is what we are trying to do over here. But then that has a severe effect on the firm. And how do you guys, again, this is a personalized question for you guys, how do you guys
Why do you say it has a severe effect on the firm?
To start with,
Architectural practice is supposed to be profitable.
correct.
When you are
It's a conundrum.
In the end, you see, in the end, you have to make sure that as a business of architecture, as a business of design, we need to be able to sustain the livelihoods of our teams. So, and if our time is going into analysis and selling benefits of how we are going to build sustainable, we need teams to do the actual work. Right, and then comes the very difficult conversation that they also do not teach in architecture schools, is how do you deal with money? How do you deal with pricing yourself? How do you even calculate what is a profitable or a loss-making project? So yeah, please.
So first of all, I would like to say that we're just architects, we're not engineers. So इसमें ना engineers का काफ़ी सारा role होता है. So you have to know which person to contact, कब किस टाइम पे कौन सा पर्सन आपके पास आपसे जिससे बात करनी है. So that's the most important thing. So basically I see architects becoming engineers, which is not the right thing. So you have to just stay as an architect and just promote sustainability and profitability and everything, but not become an engineer, and hire the right engineers guiding us through this way. So this is how we do.
Fantastic.
I think learning how to make your own practice profitable is a altogether whole science in itself, and it's a broad field. We are still struggling to learn that. So as much as I can tell you is that it's got a lot of people management, obviously. It's got a lot of collaboration that you have to learn, and you have to be patient with time and with your staff and with everything around you, with contractors. So that is something I've also learned and evolved alongside. So when we talk of designing and how much time do you devote to design, how much time do you devote to getting the things out there, there are so many times there are different projects where there is a project where the client will accept what you give in the first go, or there's a project where you keep making things and they'll never be happy. So what I have started to realize now is that you take it in the same stride and understand that you have to identify this project is going somewhere, and the other one, I cannot be stubborn with them, tell them, no, I don't want to work for you if you don't want to listen to me. I am running an office. At the end of the day, I have to pay bills. So I have to understand this scope, that this is where I can expect it to go in a direction I want. Another way, I have to somehow come to a middle ground and accept it. And when you talk of design, one thing I talked to you about, I told you just now about, was the psychology should be taught. We are taught 95% of the time in 5 years, we are told about design. Whereas when we are in practice, it's only 5% of the time you're designing, rest of the time you're just getting things done and firefighting on a daily basis. एक side पे problem है, दूसरी पे problem, you just...
So that is part of my problem with the profession, is that there is more firefighting than any other profession. Any other profession, there is 5% firefighting and then there is the core work. Over here, the core work that we are taught is not actually taught to us. Like the core work is not taught to us. Mohita, sorry.
Actually, I think that I feel on a daily basis. Architecture is one profession where we have to integrate so many other professionals, consultants, engineers together. So we are the central conduit. We have to deal with structure designers, with all the service, HVAC, electrical, lighting, and then there is now green technologies, so the energy specialist and all. So in the way, we are the center person and we need to know everything because then only you can manage them. So I think this is so unjust. As architects, we don't get paid for any of their things. Okay, so we are just working for getting our one project done.
And when they screw up something, you are the one who have to solve.
So we have to coordinate. So it's a lot of coordination among multiple people coming together. And for bigger projects, obviously it becomes much more tedious. It is easier on a small scale project, but as the project gets on a large scale, it becomes much more tedious. And by the end of the day, yes, people handling coordination and site supervisions and other things are much more time consuming. And everywhere, again, when we are coordinating, it's all the psychology, the people skills that work. So that is, I think, where we need to work on.
Yeah. Dhruv, do you want to add something? Do you have anything to...
I have a very different viewpoint. When we approach architecture, that's supposed to be a conceptual approach, and when we are talking about profitability, that is supposed to be a very financial sort of an approach. You can't mix the two. So if you're talking about the time that you're putting into a project, you have to have the value of your own time, one. You need to diversify, two. If you, as a single person, try and take up everything, learn everything, you probably, grow old by the time you learn it all. And then probably it will be up to your next generation to carry the torch, right? So it is better to diversify, take in the experience from other people, and you should just be there to make the decision. That's it. So unless and until you decentralize, you will not be a profitable business.
So what you're saying is to take into account everybody's finances and economics, and then take it forward to the client and tell them, ye bata ye hai. Okay.
Yeah, you are basically outsourcing something to a professional, say supposedly a lighting designer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows his onions.
Absolutely.
So if you feel that...
does decentralization work for you? Because
in a lot of projects, yes, because I don't say that when you give it to somebody, he'll do it the right way in the first. So over a period of time, we found the people who...
But then eventually you are looking through what they have presented, you are processing that information, and if you are not, it is my personal experience, not one person can obviously do everything, and given it's a big project, you have to have consultants and decentralize the process. But in the end, what I feel in my personal experience is, even if it is a structure engineer or electrical or lighting designer, they are all working, and somewhere down the line, they are not as involved in your project as you are. You understand your project deep well.
Ideally, I feel that is the entire gamut. You have to find people who are as involved as you.
So that would be in your
team. That is basically when you are paying them, that is why you are paying them. If somebody is not as involved as you, why would you have them for a long-term onboarding?
So yeah, maybe we have had different experiences, but yes.
We've had...
I think we need to get some references.
Dhruv, please share.
We're going to get some references.
I'm not being modest, but I've had some pretty bitter experiences. And it's been a long time coming that we've actually found people who've understood what we wanted to do. So we've had initial discussions, passed on the things to the people, and if they feel like that, they run it through us once, and that is the end of it. So I feel, yes, as architects, we have this thing of having a control central point. But then again, if you are hiring somebody and he is at his own level, where he's supposedly at a level where he's working with you, or rather you are working with him, then you have to trust your gut and give him
Yes,
the work.
if you have developed a repo and it's a similar type of
The
work,
person who's
then
come to
obviously
you,
yes,
who's
yes.
already done a few buildings that similar to yours, then he has a repo. आपको पता चल जाएगा.
I think yes,
हम
it's much
people
more of an
judging the-
individualistic thing. I think I'm much more passionate in my design, so
Fair.
maybe that
I
is
am not less passionate at all.
No, it's like it is my personal thing. Maybe I'm not able to let it go now.
No, I'm the least passionate over here, so it's okay. One thing that I wanted to pull out of this panel discussion was that how open as the next generation we are to have that sense of collaboration. What I understand over here is that like if we share ideas, if we share, well, references from your side, and both good and bad, in terms of the MEP consultants that you're using, but if you have that kind of collaboration system where we kind of help each other to better the process, do you think as instead of building a competitive spirit, if you build a collaborative spirit into the whole industry, do you think as architects we are better off to go forward like that?
I think when you're in a closed environment, some place like Chandigarh where everybody knows everybody, and you turn a corner and you bump into a friend, I think that's too compact a place to spread your wings, one.
Fair.
And then, delve on each other's references too.
Fair.
Because somebody who would probably be good for me might not be good for the other person.
Fair.
Right? And collaborations, one is always open to. But as far as till now it is there, I haven't had a very good experience. Probably I have a thinking about all of these things that it is not difficult to find a partner, but it is very difficult to find somebody who has the same drive as you.
100%.
So it is the
100%,
drive that matters in for us as a practice that has been found in very rare people. It is not that I am more passionate or I am less passionate or XYZ. It is basically somebody who thinks like you, what a project should be, what it is, how it is supposed to be handled.
As architects, I think that is something that is really not fair on us to even think about it like that.
I was attending a panel where Hiren Patel was on the stage. So somebody popped the question. And this is always the taboo question. Your juniors ask this to you. Somebody or the other will ask you, how much do you charge for a house? So, and he avoided it beautifully. He said, I let my CA decide.
God bless you. Fair. So you need to hire a good CA as well. I would like to open the questions to the audience. Do anybody has anything to add, ask? We have a very capable panel over here. Please, anybody, if there are any further questions. And amongst, between you guys as well, if you want to ask something here and there to each other, that I'm more than happy to accommodate that. I'm accommodating like that. Yeah?
Sure.
Over drinks and dinner, sounds good. Anybody, any questions from the audience? Perfect. I would say this is a wrap. Thank you for this incredible conversation. I am looking forward to a deeper, larger conversation over these things and how we can kind of build a practice where this should not be a conflict, where sustainability versus profitability should never be an option. Like, we should be able to build whatever our definitions of sustainable profitably. And we need to have that further, and I hope the Dians kind of teach us how to go forward, and I really hope that we get a chance to learn from you all. And thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
I request you all to please stay back for felicitation. And before we start the felicitation, I'd like to thank all of you and Shivansh for leading this panel in the most entertaining way. I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Shwani Khanna, Chief Customer Officer from Fundamax, and along with him Mr. Pankaj Sharma from MRF Vapacure Paints to kindly come on stage and felicitate the panelists. We start with the leader, with the moderator of this session, Architect Shivansh Sharma, Lead Designer SD Sharma and Associates. Yes, please come forward for the picture. Next, we have architect Dhruv Sarveshwar Lal, founder principal architect from Dhruv Sarveshwar Lal and Associates. Can we have a louder round of applause, please, for our speakers? Next is architect Mohita Garg, partner, Creative Consortium. Everyone at the back, can we please have a round of applause for our speakers as we felicitate them? Next is architect Tarunpreet Singh Bhatia, founder from Studio Mohenjo-daro. And last but not the least, architect Varun Garg, principal architect Varun Garg Architects. Okay, I request everyone to please wait for a group picture. Everybody please join in for the group picture. Yeah. Thank you so much to each one of you, and thank you once again, Shivansh, for leading this panel and giving us your time. And as we wrap up the next gen panel discussion, we now move on to our next segment of introducing our esteemed partners for this edition. We'd like to introduce to you one of the masters in supplying and manufacturing high-pressure laminates, facades, and wall cladding products that are trusted by architects and designers across the globe and that can be used as premium quality panels. I'd like to invite on stage yet again Mr. Shwani Khanna, the Chief Customer Officer from Fundamax, to kindly come and present about their highly durable range of interior and exterior products.
Yeah, thank you once again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will try to be very quick because I don't want to, hear the buzzer. So Fundamax is actually Austrian company, and we surprised the whole industry when we launched laminates for exterior applications. Because laminates we have always heard for interior applications, but our laminates are quite suitable for the exterior application, and we are present in India for past 18 years. We see every project as a canvas, like shown in this slide, and we invite you all to create your own canvas, convert your ideas into realities with our products and services. So we have a long tradition. We are 130-year-old organization headquartered in Austria. We are present in India for past 18 years. We love design, we embrace individuality, and we live perfection. This is our claim. This is how we can support all of you through our products and services. We complete what nature gives us. Nature is giving a very important raw material, and here the sustainability part also comes in because we source the paper with the help of which the compact laminates are manufactured. We source the paper from FSC certified vendors only. And some of the sourcing is also through PEFC certified vendors. And our entire value chain is ensuring the sustainability. So we are part of a big group, Constantia Group. Fundamax is one of the company in Constantia. Another two companies are IsoVolta and IsoSports. And Constantia Services is providing common services to these three companies. In interest of time, I'm not talking about IsoVolta and IsoSports, but we will look into Fundamax in detail. So we have a very innovative product, which is basically a class A2 material. Now, when we talk about class A2, it means it is it is non-combustible material. It will not burn at all. The moment there is a fire, this product will act as a fire extinguisher in itself. And the other product is Max Exterior. Here, the product itself can be used for facades, balconies, soffits. This is a standard product for us in India, and it contributes 95% of our sales. But this is also a class B material. We will understand this in later part of our presentation. Our value chain, in fact, it starts with you all, which is like starting at architect level. You will conceive some idea in your head, and then it is our responsibility to, work as a partner with you to convert that idea into reality. After architect has thought something or thought of designing something with Fundamax, our sales team will get in touch with you. Then from sales team, we will pass on the topic to the application engineering team, where we can give various services, including rendering. We can do optimization. We can, in fact, do the complex calculations as well. involving sun path analysis, for the lures involving wind load calculations, what is the height of the project, all those details we can get into after reading your drawings and propose a solution. And then finally the product is produced in Austria. There are some standard decors. These are 25 decors which are present in India in our warehouse in Bangalore. So these decors are readily available in India. So 25 decors amounting to approximately 60,000 square meter is readily available with us in Bangalore. Spoke about M-Look and Max Exterior panel. If we carefully look at the fire behavior of M-Look, it is A2S1D0. A2 means it is non-combustible. S1 means the smoke index is very less on the scale of 1 to 5. And D means droplets, droplet is 0. If you have used this product in high-rise buildings, in case of fire, it will not propagate the fire to the neighborhood or the other buildings. And at the same time, there would not be any kind of droplets. Similarly, the Max Exterior panel, which is shown on the right side of the screen, this is having fire classification of BS2D0. B means it will not cross the flashover point in case of fire. And droplet is also 0 in this particular case. And smoke index is only 2 on scale of 1 to 5. It is available in 5 different formats. And these formats can also help in optimizing. And the standard thickness is 6 mm. This 6 mm can, withstand wind load up to 1.5 kPa. And we have done the project wherein the wind load was 2.5 kPa. That was one of the tallest building we have done in India. This project was in Mumbai. So facades, soffits, curved applications, ceilings, louvers, which act as a sun shading system, and column cladding. These are some of the typical applications which are possible with this. But not limiting to this, we can also do pergolas and other unique applications. Canopies, gates, and even the CNC perforation is possible on Max Exterior panels. Some applications. This is a combination of matte finish and glossy finish. This is a project in Bangalore. It is from a famous builder known as Satwa. This is perforation. This can act as a shading device as well. It can help in optimizing the shading coefficient. This is a school project in Kerala. This is basically installed on corridors. This panel itself has NRC of 0.15. Some sound will get absorbed, and the perforation helps in ventilation. So lower applications. Left side is the school project in Bangalore. It's Nitya Meenakshi. On the right side, you can see it is used as a lower, which can act as a shading device, thereby cutting the excess glare and light inside the building. It can be used on balconies, can be used on fences, gates. This is a special product. It's basically known as individual decor. You can define your own design, and we can get it printed on the panel. And this is also UV protected and will last as long as building is lasting. So these kind of designs are also possible. This is again a school project. When the radius of curvature is more than 2 meters, we can curve the single panel. Otherwise, we can segment it and achieve this kind of effect. Roof cladding is also possible, but these are not load-bearing roofs. A proper gutter system has to be defined. Pergola application, you can use it as a landscape element. Now, if you look at the extreme right project, this is basically a project in Kerala. It is facing the tropical sun throughout the day. The whole inspiration was a traditional jali from, our many architectures. Here, the lower angle was decided based on the sun path analysis. If we move from extreme right to the extreme left, the lower angle is also changing. Thereby, giving heat insulation to the building, optimizing the shading coefficient, reducing the excess glare, all these are achieved with the help of this kind of applications. This is an example of individual decor. Every panel is individually printed to achieve this facade. Yeah, this is all about us. As I mentioned again, this is a quick summary. We are 130-year-old organization. We are present in India for past 18 years. I am working with this company for past 12 years. Chandigarh is my hometown. I know most of you, but there are many new faces. I would like to interact with you all during the networking breaks. We also have a booth at the back. Please feel free to reach out to us. We are happy to, work together in your projects.
Is where aesthetics meets functionality. where beauty touches the surface. It is art making itself useful, touching the heart all the while. Individuality is what we want to offer. Uniqueness is what you make it. We see ourselves as co-designers of your design wishes. That's how we become partners in your success. Our origin is the book in which we turn the pages to read the future. Since we know where we come from, we also know where we want to go.
Thank you so much to the team of Fundamax for a very insightful presentation. And after a thrilling session with the next-gen panelists, we now move on to yet another exciting session, the Doyens panel discussion with the stalwarts of the architecture industry. I'd like to welcome and introduce to you all our esteemed speakers for this session. Our first speaker is an overachiever for an early age. He went on to secure the gold medal in his alma mater, IIT Roorkee, and now commands a popular name in the architecture industry in the tri-state area of Chandigarh. As a practitioner and advocate of design excellence, which he continues to strive to achieve through a cohesive mix of technology and cultivated intuition. Please welcome our first speaker, architect Badrinath Kareru, the director from Studio Ardent. Can we have a round of applause, please, as we introduce our speakers? Thank you, sir. Welcome to the show. Our next speaker has over 23 years of experience in shaping spaces across residential, commercial, institutional, and hospitality sectors. Known for her client-first approach, she believes that a great design begins by truly understanding what people need and how best to bring that to life. Her work is marked by a creative individuality, the use of sustainable materials, and a seamless connection to nature through open, thoughtful spaces. Please welcome on stage our next speaker, architect Meenakshi Chhabra, founder architect from DMC Architects. Welcome to the show, ma'am. Next in line, we have an architect with a reasonable set of skills and knowledge base as required, and with more than reasonable experience from the year 1973 in various positions till date. That adds up to around 52 years of a vast and incredible experience. His primary experience and knowledge base is in the field of sustainability and concomitant regional and urbanal development, especially urban engineering. Please welcome on stage our next speaker, architect Pallav Mukherjee, owner from Metamorphosis Design. Welcome to the show, sir. And last but not the least, our next speaker on the panel is a pioneer of alternate architecture and has completed more than 150 projects using green architecture practices in northern India. A nature lover and an environmentalist at heart, she questions the current trends in building industry. She took the unconventional path by venturing into sustainable architecture more than 2 decades ago. Please welcome on stage our yet another speaker, architect Savneet Kaur, principal architect from Imarat Architects. Welcome to the show, ma'am. On behalf of Architects in Interiors India and ITP Media, I welcome you all to the Doyens panel. And now with great pleasure, I'd like to introduce to you all the moderator, the one who shall lead the Doyens panel for this session. A leading architect of India, famous for her experiential and emotive architecture, is known for infusing soul in all her projects, be it the monumental memorials, museums, airports, corporate offices, housing, transport, or resorts. Most of her projects have been published and awarded. Her book, Architecture of Happiness, was launched by Consulate Journal of India in New York in August 2019 at New York. In her extravagant career of 35 years, she has won many accolades such as the Hutco Awards in 1995, JK Indian Architect of the Year Award in 1999, Forest Bhavan Mohali exhibit in Paris 2009. She has also designed green rated buildings and one being 4-star rated, that is the CIC Delhi. Ladies and gentlemen, with great pleasure, I'd like to introduce to you all and invite on stage our moderator, Architect Renu Khanna, Chief Architect from Renu Khanna and Associates. Welcome to the show, ma'am. I now hand over the forum to you.
Versus profitability, finding the balance. In today's business landscape, sustainability and profitability are often seen as opposing goals. But finding a balance is crucial for long-term success. Why sustainable? Sustainable practices reduce waste, conserve resources, and mitigate climate change. Sustain what and for whom? It's about maintaining the natural resources, which is earth, water, fire, and space. And for whom? Our future generations. But businesses need profits to survive and grow. Investors prioritize profits over sustainability, but surely companies that prioritize sustainability have an upper edge. But India is always known for its timeless practices. We've advocated sustainability since time immemorial. We worship rivers like mothers like Ganga Ma, Narmada Ma, and to pass the message of water conservation, our ancestors built baulis, step wells, for water storage. We have designated one tree for each day of the week, that is banyan tree, peepal tree, banana tree for Thursday, etc. In South India, food is served on banana leaves even today. Isn't that biodegradable and eco-friendly? So now after hearing Vata sir's talk, now I understood from where I got this, from where I inherited something, where I have the feeling of going deep down into heritage. So in Saraswati Sindhu civilization, 5,000 years back, that was 3300 BC, back then, they had outside their homes different garbage bins for dry and wet garbage. Do you know that? 5,000 years back. And even today, now we are advocating, we are being learned from the West that you need separate garbage bins for dry and wet. How many of you have heard about Gayatri Mantra? Gayatri Mantra के बारे में किस-किसने सुना है? Let me see. You know? Can you say it? And do you know what it means? Gayatri Mantra is Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. In this, like we've been using this, we've been chanting this all throughout without knowing its meaning. Now what is Bhur in this? Bhur means earth. Bhuva means the atmosphere. Swaha is the space. And Savitur is the sun. So are we not talking about 5 elements? Yes or no? Yes. So we simply chanted without understanding that it's talking of sustainability simply. Is it not oral heritage of sustainability? So हम लोगों को ना बात तभी समझ में आती है जब वेस्ट से घूम के आती है. जब हमारे पेरेंट्स एंसेस्टर्स बताते हैं हम सोचते हैं ओहो चलो है ठीक है. So now there is Chanakya's Arthashastra also, a timeless Indian treatise on economics, politics and governance. It offers deep insights on balancing sustainability and profitability, emphasizing long-term consequences over short-term gains. advocates prudent use of natural resources, promoted balanced economic growth, and striking balance between, through Indian philosophies, dharam, arth, kam. Dharma means ethical, sustainable practices aligned with moral values. Arth is economic prosperity with awareness of its social and environmental impact. Kama is balanced desires. On a lighter note, you know, when I heard about this topic, sustainability versus profitability, on a lighter note, I asked Sherry, profitability for whom? Is it for the contractor? Is it for the builder, the architect, or the product manufacturer or the owner? So, for the contractor, it depends if sustainability was considered before or after the tender. I hope you understand what I mean. For the builder, sustainability may give extra FAR, which means more sellable area. For the owner, it's future savings, and the product manufacturer gets a market edge. But the ultimate beneficiary of sustainability is future generation who inherit protected natural resources. So now I would like to begin this panel discussion. My first question goes to Meenakshi. Meenakshi, how do you convince clients to invest in sustainable solutions without viewing them as a burden?
Hello. Good evening, everyone. What I understand is nowadays clients also are not against sustainability. They also want their spaces to be sustainable. Only thing is that they don't know about, maybe they are a little apprehensive about how this thing will happen, the time constraint, the budget constraint, what is the outcome of the sustainable practice that the architect is suggesting. So one thing is that we have to make them little more aware of the thing that we want to do. That is one. Second thing is that when we talk of sustainability, we have made this word so cliche and so so repulsive that a person, the moment you say sustainability, the person says that means I have to shed in more money. The basic concepts, I mean, when we start, we as a firm, when we design, that is the basic thing that we do, placing the windows or putting in equal spaces, open spaces inside the houses. You know, these are the very smaller things where the sustainability actually starts. Okay, so in my perspective, you have to just make your client understand what you want to achieve and how you want to achieve. So things can be easily done, but only thing is that instead of putting your clarification or your understanding into a word that is more cliche or just superficial abstract ideas, you have to put them into words that makes more sense to him, or spaces. For example, you make them understand that, okay, if I do a particular thing, your space will have more oxygen, your space will have more ventilation, then he'll understand. That is the right thing, I think, to do. Because in the name of sustainability, what we are doing is, we are just copying. We are copying in the sense, let's say, for example, हमने इंटरनेट से कुछ देखा, अब वो जो हमने देखा वो साउथ इंडिया का था, but हमने उसको कॉपी दिल्ली में कर लिया. Obviously, it's not sustainable. So we as architects have to guide our clients as to what we actually want to do and what we are going to achieve from that. This is what I think.
Brilliant. So just like, you know, when I designed my first green building, that forest complex, Mohali, people didn't know how to use the low flow taps and even waterless urinals. Some health faucets were even stolen. And but companies like Jaguar and Hindware, they trained the users, and then it became a normal thing, you know.
Exactly. Now, for example, if we say rainwater harvesting, that was a taboo if I say 5 to 10 years back. But now the government organizations have made it mandatory. That in Huda, for example, they have a norm that you have to have a rainwater harvesting pit, otherwise your money won't be given back. So that's a practice now. So it can be taught.
Coming back to your point, when you said कि वो South India की चीज़ उठा के यहाँ लगा देते हैं, I was doing a project in Ambala when they asked me to do rain harvesting. जबकि अम्बाला में there is so much of slush, 4 फुट पे पानी आ जाता है. Why should I do, rain harvesting over
Exactly.
there?
So
it has to be
sustainability for a particular space has to be worked out first.
Yeah, it has to be thought properly, And in those days, people didn't even know about DGUs. The traditional design elements like courtyards and all, I used them, but they were not being considered for Griha rating and all that. And
because I, as an architect, I don't know, I feel that if we in India are able to make glass houses like buildings where the temperatures are always so high, or we are making classical buildings which are illogical, because if we are talking of European countries, we are trying to copy them because, at the name of having a classical building, we are designing it. That is not all sustainable for this climate.
I remember doing a complete cost analysis of solar PV for forest building, and they were talking that grid ko kitne mein hum denge, grid kitne mein humko dega, but it was not coming out profitable. Yes, and so those were the materials. But now those materials are into wider acceptance. Now my next question goes to architect Savneet. Savneet, you've been working in earth architecture where costs are already low. So how do you make profitability, and what is the mindset shift essential for sustainable yet profitable design?
So I think initially you or even the previous panel that was there addressed profitability for whom. So we generally, if we are using versus something, it is profitability in a very deeper sense, in a longer sense, because if it is profitable for our lifestyle, it is something let's say on a non-architectural this thing. Maybe if we compare it to, let's say, eating organic food versus food that's made with pesticides and things. Yes, it is a little more expensive, but is it profitable? So sometimes I think this whole question of profitability, in what sense that we are targeting, essentially lifestyle-wise, what materials we are using for construction, mostly where possible, we use natural materials. And I think it is like you only referred that in India it was always sustainable. Natural materials are intrinsically more suitable to our species and all the others. So I think at some level we gain by health, we gain by the quality of life, we gain by other things, and by the fact that we are not depleting our environment in the process of building. So the profitability is inherent in a lot of ways that we can't even count, and which has been our main motivator of building with natural materials as far as possible. So yes, and I don't know anything specific that you have in profitability maybe versus commercially or otherwise. See, if we save on a building cost, eventually it is a huge saving otherwise. See, not necessarily if a building is more expensive to build, it is, profitable for the architect or for the client or anyways. So I think, yes, building in natural materials, is sustainable and it is profitable, both ways.
Hats off to you for using earth architecture. So my next question goes to Badri. Badri, how do you balance sustainability and profitability in practice? Because I've seen many of your designs which are really beautiful with, those innovative shapes. In fact, I was one of the jury members where I awarded your design the best. Now, tell me.
So I think when I read the context about it, it was about sustainability in other aspects. I think we are tilting more towards about the same buildings that we have talked about. But anyways, first thing about when we say the word sustainability, it sometimes is curious for me to understand why should it is always about sustainability? When would we thrive about something? Because the word sustainability is like trying to be somewhere, and the word when you say thriving, it's like you're already doing something. So we do we grow things and everything. So in our practice, when we talk about sustainability, so end of the day, like I don't see that there is a point between like when we talk about profitability of a practice, it has to do with several other parameters and how the kind of value proposition you give to the clients and how you could make out of it. And it's more about a long-term perspective because one of my mentor who actually tells me like architects actually start slow, like every professional, and they have a much longer, you don't need to retire even at 80 if you are capable. Like even if you see B.V. Doshi, he was working even like in his, like even to last years. And I worked with Glenn Murcutt and he's 85 and still going strong. So we have a much longer time. So it is more about, I think, as a profession, because when we talk about business and a profession actually has a much longevity and it starts slow, but it slowly picks up. And in terms of sustainability as a practice, I think there have been markets that have done it rightly. For example, when we talk about something like a LEED Platinum building, like we tried as a POC where we did our office recently, and it's one of the like LEED Platinum, I think in like the office buildings, one of the very few in Punjab. So, but when we tried it, when we were actually going through the laws and rules and a lot of other things, we thought probably like even a market like Tokyo has actually cracked it, or a market like, let's say, London has cracked it, part of their basic bylaws. So it's also about how the governments has to do with, not just about architects, it's also about the society as one, where we see that everybody has their role to play. Because I think if you put in too much sustainability on an architectural plate, probably it's too much for an architect. It's not just about the architect to do it, it's also about the manufacturers to think about it. It's also about the entire society to function together to make it, I think, a world a better place. I think if I answered your question.
Okay. So my next question is to Pallav. What is your take on profitability of... Okay, carry on.
Gentlemen, let me think it over. Okay, let's go back to a few things. Number one, is this room, can you hear me? Am I audible now? Right, let's take this particular room. The temperature set so, way down that is it sustainable? No.
It is not. It should have been 24.
I would have rather had a 27 degree or 25 degree setting instead of the 18, 19 or whatever they've put. And that reminds me, if you look up at the ceiling, you will notice around 50 to 60 recessed spot lamps into the ceiling. Is it sustainable? Compared to what the municipal corporation would do, definitely. Because any, shall we say, municipal corporation building, example, any of these, let us say, community centers, in the same hall, they'd have had 600 bulbs, minimum. For them, that is sustainable. For us, is this sustainable? Yes. So it's all a matter of who is doing the job. I'll give you an interesting example. Way back, I'm going back 30, 40 years ago, I ended up at Gurgaon to have a look at a thing called HREC, that was the Haryana Roadways Engineering Corporation. So they were making some sort of a shed for manufacturing chassis and all that sort of thing, of buses, bus bodies. And again, I had one look at the electrical plans. There were about 500-600 bulbs, tube lights, in a factory with 30-foot ceiling. So I threw a fit. They said, "Tukar." So I redesigned the whole thing, and we ended up with 17 lamps instead of about 500-600. So automatically that brought the cost so down that the Thekadar gave up. It was not sustainable for him. Not profitable, but not even sustainable. So this is the problem. Compare the buildings you make to what the government makes. Now, which one is sustainable, that you can figure out. I would like all of you to go for a thing called, you've all heard of BNS, the new law called Bharatiya Nyaya Samiti? Check out ENS. Let me repeat that, ENS. I'd like you all to check it out on your cell phones now and just go through it. That will change your entire approach to sustainability and your buildings for life. I will leave it there.
You okay? So, my next question, again to Meenakshi. Can prioritizing sustainability actually increase profitability in the long run, or is it just a myth?
According to me, profitability is, see, one thing. If it is sustainable, it is profitable. Now, the language of profitability for me is if I am earning in terms of monetary, then physical and mental. All these three spectrums to me is profitable. If I am able to achieve anything. After Corona, we have learned all these things. That money is not the only factor that we need to work on. When we were all tied up to our houses, so we were looking for places, we were looking for, places to rent out. So according to me, if you're making a building sustainable, that is one, it has to be profitable. In what sense is the question? That is one. Second, for me, when we are designing, for us, sustainability, let's say, for us, sustainability is a lens, not a filter. Let me put it that way. What we are talking, putting up a green plant, after the designing is just putting in a filter to beautify it. And otherwise, if we, at the time of designing, if you're providing a proper courtyard, so that the, temperature goes down, that would mean, or providing cavity walls, the temperature goes down, and your AC costs come down. So things like that obviously are going to be profitable. So if you're doing this, I said before also, if you are doing the sustainability right, it is profitable. Right.
Because it brings the running costs down.
Obviously, it will.
I think that what happens when you do...
So the truth is, let's not complicate the word sustainability, because that also, repulses the client also. So let's be more vocal about creating spaces which are more, which you can actually breathe through, which you are happy in, spaces where families get, places to interact with each other. Give them the concept of chopals, or give them places like courtyards. Obviously, let's bring them or create such spaces where a family wants to get out from their AC units or their air-conditioned rooms and want to spend some time there. That is profitability.
And I believe that Earth brings a lot of like healing effect. I mean,
that is profitability again.
Yeah, this question goes to Savneet. Could you please throw some light on Earth architecture that you've been doing?
See, I think continuing with what Meenakshi is saying, health, of course, and like you're asking what healing effect, I think most of us have experienced it at various points of time that by itself, the material itself is healing, in the sense that mud is known to have healing properties. If we, in olden times, you would apply it on your hurt and things. But our biggest, you could say, actual take back was after COVID. Almost all the places, especially homes that we'd built with mud, we had not even a single case of COVID in that entire families. Those families were in their homes because mud walls per se purify the earth, the air that comes into the building. So it is something like, matke ka pani versus fridge ka pani. Now we are sitting in a kind of a fridge environment here. But if you are sitting in a natural building, none of our homes, our offices, we don't use air conditioners. And being in Chandigarh, being in the NCR, and that is because, one, mud itself has very, very high thermal insulation, and it purifies the air. The thermal mass is tremendous. And if you're using mud flooring as well, the kind of, it's like you have shock absorbers. They say that if you walk on mud floors, you never even develop problems with your joints and things, because the human body was probably not meant to walk on marble and things. And the current trends that we have, we are importing marble across from Europe, Italian marble as a show of status or whatever. But the seas that we are polluting along the way, everything, it finally comes back to us. We are the users, and whether the air is being polluted, a normal household these days would be using what, 5, 6 air conditioners, maybe centrally air conditioned. Now think that we are building homes that use no air conditioners. So we cool the air, the ACs throw out that carbon monoxide, that heats up the temperature, and then we are cooling it further with artificial means. So in all, a lot of our technology is actually a vicious cycle to get to a system that is inherently harmful to the human body. Building with earth is inherently natural. And once you start living it, I think you'd probably need no more proof that it is healthier, it is more comfortable, and it is most cost effective, definitely.
So actually, even we did one project like that, not Earth, but we did a project called CGWHO housing in Sector 26, Panchkula. And there I designed houses around a central courtyard with a fountain in between. And we planned it in such a manner, the staircase, that when the wind would come in, it would come through narrow openings and the velocity would increase. So these are some of the fundas which I learned from Vatas sir, and I'm so thankful to him for, yeah.
I have to thank myself also. I think few know that Vatas sir was my thesis guide as well. So one of my first mentors, and I'm eternally grateful for his landscape class that actually, attached us to appreciating nature. Using it for our building design came much, much later. So I think we share that in common, and we are very privileged to have him here as our guest of honor today.
I think we can have a round of applause for Vatas sir. So we are all his, children. So even in my own house, which was published in BBC Good Homes, I remember in third year, we had done one submission. Sir told us about the different forms of water. Water in its still form, water in its, water as a fall, which brings enthusiasm, water in, in fountains, that rejuvenates you. So all these fundas I've used in my own house. So it's you enter through a ramp with fountains around, and then you see a swimming pool, and then which is a still water, and then there's a waterfall and all that. So thank you, sir, thank you very much. Pallav.
All right, let me say something interesting. Chandigarh uses around 250 to 350 megawatts of electricity. When I was born, India was using 1713 megawatts. Just 4 times that of Chandigarh. And that was all of India. So visualize the scene. 75 years ago versus now. And India is one of the world's largest, shall we say, user of coal and gas to produce energy, which is being wasted like mad. This room is an example of energy waste. Chandigarh is another great example. For that matter, every city. You go to any building in Chandigarh, any Sarkari building specifically, let's take the local courts or the high courts. The air conditioners are working, the doors are open.
Yes.
You go to any Sarkari building, the air conditioners are working, the rooms are open. The heaters are on. I mean, things like this, we don't even care for energy. I remember the good old days, let's say 50 years ago, petrol used to be what, 72 paisa per liter.
Oh.
How much is it now? I mean, crazy. I still remember that is when I first got my first job in the College of Architecture. This would be before the emergency was, imposed in India. A trip to Delhi would cost us 6 rupees 50 paisa, one way. If I used the deluxe bus, it was 12 rupees 12 rupees 50 paisa. And there was one air-conditioned bus, 25 rupees. You can't get an ice cream in 25 rupees now. So we are blatantly wasting our resources. And here's an interesting point. 79, which is the time I gave up teaching, they started a thing called, not then, it was started much later, but records were maintained for a thing called, the word is world or earth. I don't know the exact term, but it's about the earth or the planet earth going beyond its resources. So that date is now 1st of August. If the earth has to sustain itself for 1 year, that has been now It's happening in 7 months or 8 months. And we are gradually, reducing that, time. So notice, we are all living on borrowed time, and the earth doesn't have too many resources to continue. And there is no source of replenishing the resources on the planet, whether it is water, whether it is minerals, or whether it is just plain sand. There is a problem on sand. I remember our time, sand used to be what? 6 rupees or something for a truck. Unkenaga, I think it's maybe 20,000. Bricks were costing us 6 rupees per 1,000 bricks. Currently, I think it's what? 7, 8 rupees per brick. Cement was 6 rupees a bag. Steel was, say, 12 rupees a kilo. Now it's 60 rupees. So steel has gone up less. Why don't we use bamboo, which is stronger than steel, millimeter for millimeter? Other countries are using it. So the problem is not that. Niyati kharab hai. We're not even interested. How many of you are really interested in such, if you look at your energy footprint since morning, think it over. Each of you is living in an air-conditioned house, you have a big SUV, you have so many things where you don't need to use that kind of energy. But we are used to it.
Not only using, governments are giving it free of cost. Just imagine.
And a very
It's criminal.
important thing to continue with what he's just said is that it's not just about that we don't have another earth to sustain us. Besides the profitability, besides the economics of what he's saying that, things are so expensive, just look at air, I started practice in Delhi. Delhi was beautiful. You could see from the India Gate to the South Block and everything. You can't see it now. You go there, you can't stay there for a day. I've had so many clients shifted from Delhi to hills. We've done a lot of work in the Himalayas, that at least we have clean air. And how long? If we continue to work the way we are, if we are using coal to fire that many bricks, which we don't need, you are mining steel, cement, where we need small windows, we are using huge amounts of metal for that. Metal is again mined. Cement is being used mindlessly. Wherever cement is produced, no blade of grass can grow. And when that building is demolished within 50 years, that cement can never go back to the soil. So we are depleting our soil. Tomorrow we'll have no soil forget sand to construct. We'll have no soil to actually grow food. So where is the question of profitability? I think it is very mandatory that we need to think how we can use. And every little thought makes a difference. Just to share this thing, our biggest thing was that the government is not building sustainably currently. We had a government office and it took us a long time to pitch them to use natural materials for construction. Then the contractors come in and say ki RCC pillars ke bina hum nahi banayenge, which is the trend here, that you make one house, you put 20 RCC pillars, 3-storied high, for 2 people to live in. Just think the embodied cost that is going into that building. Forget the monetary cost. We make structures for 10 stories for a single-storied house without thinking. A load-bearing wall could have done the work. A mud wall could have done the work of that 2-storied house, and we've used RCC pillars. Steel, cement, concrete, and cement production itself destroys the planet. So there are so many aspects to this vicious loop of the kind of construction, and construction industry contributes more than 50% to the degradation of the environment today. So I think we all as architects are really, really one of the pioneers that need to think, should we build the way we are building? Should we advocate? The last panel talked about convincing the client or the profitability and things. I think it isn't even that. It is kind of mandatory. And when we believe in what we are kind of walking our talk, it'll manifest wherever, we can see it. So for the sake of clean air, for the sake of the food that we need to eat, we have to build sustainably. So I think you're very right that versus profitability is not a question. There is no versus. This is probably the way we have to be.
You mentioned concrete. Badri, I would like to ask your comments.
Just wanted to add a little to it. We are talking about a base structure, okay? Even after construction, what we are doing is we are overloading our walls with, again, stone or louvers or things like that. We are not even letting the walls breathe. That is also being done. So we need to, work on things like that.
Yeah. So what is your take on the concrete, paved, complete this thing on Sector 17, which becomes a heat island totally? Yeah.
So again, like there are like everything would have like sustainability is one aspect of it. Probably when Sector 17 Plaza would have been made, like now it's like commenting on a great architect's work is not something that we're here for. But still, if you look at it, I think we even did some research on it, wherein like when I was a student, when actually like the scale of the plaza has been reduced by adding a lot of trees, wherein like the whole paved area, where I think it was added more life into it, where it was, the scale was completely changed. Because we were looking at having a city center. It was more of a Western idea of a city center, wherein which we can see from how the entire like the early Christian era started with having plazas and piazzas in the cities, and how this thing was translated into having like one big city center. So I think it could have been more in a better way, where it could be more soft and blend of both. I think it would rather be more like, because even today now when we talk about, though we talk about sustainability in a way, it is more, but if you look at it, how Gurgaon is evolving and the kind of resources, at least like from a world where we were building air conditioning malls, to at least to, thanks to COVID, like now we are looking at open markets as one of the solution. And even like how evolution in Gurgaon is also happening, at where they're doing open air like shopping streets, compared to what we'd call as like closed malls, which were completely borrowed from the West. I think it is a continuous thing, and I think it's rightly pointed out by the panel, where we just actually have only around 25 to 30 harvests left. That's what the soil condition stays. That's what the soil scientists tell us. So I think it's, rather than being profitability, I think it will be completely insane on us, because the earth is here to stay. It's only like we who will be affected from what is, it's our doings. End of the day, like it's not the first time that probably we lived on this planet. Like probably would have extincted us many times. And if we talk about it, like somewhere around 1500 years after we all would go, there would be no traces on what we were as a community or what we were as a society, because the nature would completely take over it. So it's there to survive, it's there to thrive. I think we are putting our like time on this planet at a kind of a verge, where we still not realizing that what deep like what are we getting down into, where we have to address it fast, otherwise like will be a history told.
So my last question to all the panelists: what advice would you give to business leaders seeking to balance sustainability and profitability? Anyone can answer. Yeah.
I don't know what the question was.
Yeah. What advice would you give to business leaders seeking to balance sustainability and profitability?
Well, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
First thing is, I'd like all of you to go back to the days of COVID. I mean, that's 5 years ago, 2020, and check out the air quality those days when the country was shut down.
Yes.
Right? Number one. Number two, when you go back home, or you can do it right away, all of you have a relative in the US or Canada or UK or Europe. Ask them what is the AQI there now. Compare it with Chandigarh, which is supposed to be a clean city, where it is 200 plus. Those guys have it at 6 to 7. That's it. Kithe 6-7 AQI, kithe 200-300. And Delhi is, of course, out of the question. I mean, 400 plus is normal. That's one thing. The other problem is this regarding species. We are not the only species on the planet. Do you have an idea? Can you check up from your sources or Google as to how many species are disappearing from the planet, maybe every day. Species are going extinct, and the main reason is pollution. Pollution created by man and everything else that he does.
I think, like I said, we probably don't realize that each species is somehow contributing to us as well. We think that, humans are the only, so we are doing things for our own profit, but yes, they contribute in all possible ways.
I think I'd like to say there is so much data on everything that all of us know what needs to be done. Only thing is, let's start doing our bit. This is what I feel.
I think to reach where we are supposed to reach, or at least to make our life longer on this planet, it has to, I think, not just with motivation or just like passive motivation, it has to be with regulation, and it has to be with more stronger measures, because many times we don't take responsibility of ourselves. How can we take a responsibility of a planet? It has to be with more thinkful governments and thinkful systems that can regulate, because the whole problem of urbanization, let's say in China, you cannot just go to a place and start living there. You have to get a permit from the state to actually move to one place to other place. Probably they were, you can say it as communism, but probably it is something to do with the kind of densities they can manage in some way or the other. But here, like, it's completely different. So end of the day, there should be a stronger regulation to make things better for everybody.
So, to conclude it all, by embracing sustainability as a necessity, not just a trend, the construction industry can benefit through increased demand, improved efficiency, and higher profitability. Let's make sustainability a smart choice, not just for us, for all those who will inherit what we have today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Completely agree with the thought that let's make sustainability a smart choice, not just for us, but for our future generations. And with that, we wrap up the Doyens panel, and what an absolutely brilliant panel it was. I would now like to invite Mr. Hanish Arora from Dorma Kaaba, and along with him, Mr. Abhinav Gupta from Shuko, to kindly come on stage and felicitate our dear Doyens panelists. And before that, may we please have a huge round of applause for such a thrilling and insightful session. I request the speakers to please come forward as I call out your name. We'd like to begin with our leader, the captain of the ship, Architect Renu Khanna, Chief Architect Renu Khanna and Associates. Can we have a round of applause for her, please? Y'all can come in this. Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Architect Badrinath Kaleru, Director from Studio Ardit. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Architect Meenakshi Chabra, Founder Architect from the MC Architects. Can we have a louder round of applause, please? Thank you so much. Next, we have Architect Pallav Mukherjee, owner from Metamorphosis Design. And last but not the least, Architect Savneet Kaur, Principal Architect from Imarat Architects. We request everyone to please stay back for a group picture. Can we have all of you all together for a group picture? Please. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, for your contribution in making this panel a huge success. And that wraps up yet another design debate for Chandigarh. I thank you all for your patience and for being an amazing audience. From me and the entire team of ITP Media India, I'd like to extend my thanks to our associate partner, Shuko and Dorma Kaba, our category partners, MRF Vapacure Paints and Fundermax. Thank you all for your support. And of course, I'd like to thank again our esteemed audience, our guest of honor, our extremely talented moderators, and our speakers of both the panels for taking time and making this event a huge success. Chandigarh, it was a pleasure, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much.